Super Visa of Canada. This is the topic of today. If you are having PR or citizenship of Canada, in that case you can take Super Visa for your parents or grandparents. In this particular video, I am going to discuss each and every bit, everything about Super Visa, including who is eligible, who is not eligible. Even after getting your PR, should you apply for the visitor visa or the Super Visa? Which one is better? What is the income requirement of the host in Canada? Do you require to write SOP? Do you require to show funds? I am going to cover each and every bit about it. So to understand everything related to Super Visa of Canada, watch this video till then. Hello everyone, welcome back to this YouTube channel Globexa Immigration. This is Jitendra Grover. So in this video we are discussing about Super Visa of Canada, and if you already have your PR or citizenship of Canada, in that case rather than keeping your parents on visitor visa, you can take their Super Visa. And on Super Visa, your parents can stay in Canada for 5 years in one stretch, in one go. They don't require to leave Canada after every 6 months, and they can stay in Canada for 5 years in one go. So due to this facility, Super Visa becomes far more preferred application compared to visitor visa if you are already having your PR of Canada. So coming to the first point, who can apply for Super Visa of Canada? Parents or grandparents of PR or citizens in Canada, they can apply for Super Visa of Canada. So if you are already having PR of Canada, you can apply for your parents or grandparents. If I take it from the side of parents or grandparents, if their child or grandchild is having PR of Canada or citizenship of Canada, they can apply for the Super Visa of Canada. Host must be at least of age 18. Usually it happens that whosoever is having the PR in Canada, if you are adult after age 18, so in that case you are eligible to apply for Super Visa for your parents or grandparents. Next condition is host must meet the Canadian income requirement to be eligible. What is the Canadian income requirement? So let me show it to you. So this is the table of Canadian income requirement. So if you are having a family of 2, if you are husband wife in Canada and you are calling one of your parent in Canada on Super Visa, then you will be counted as host 1, your wife will be counted as host 2, and your mother, if you are calling your mother on Super Visa, then your mother will be counted as the applicant 1. So you require income of $45,000 in Canada. So there are 2 hosts, including both of them. The income requirement in Canada must be $45,000 if you are applying for only one parent and you are calling only one parent in Canada. If you are calling both the parents in Canada, then what is going to happen? There are 2 applicants now, applicant 1 and applicant 2. This is parent 1, parent 2. Now the income requirement is going to be approximately 55,000 Canadian dollars. Suppose you have 2 kids as well in Canada. What is going to happen in that scenario? Then you already have a family of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are already there in Canada. Husband, wife, 2 kids. And you are calling 2 parents as well, 5 and 6. So total income requirement is going to be $70,000 in Canada. So if husband and wife both together are earning this much of money, then they can call their parents. One family member, one host is calling the parent. If in case this host, husband, is calling the parents on Super Visa, second host is also calling the parents on Super Visa, then the requirement is going to be, so they are already having a family of 4, husband plus wife plus kid 1 plus kid 2 plus parent of husband plus parent 2 of husband plus parent of wife plus parent of wife. Now there are going to be 8 family members to be survived in Canada. What is going to be the income requirement in that case? It is going to be 7 members plus $8,000 we need to add. So it is going to be approximately $86,000 in Canada. It should be more than 86,000 approximately in Canada. Then 8 family members can survive on that. Also, there is one more condition. For example, now only husband is applying for the parents. Wife is not applying for the parents. What is going to happen in that scenario? For example, you take the visa of the parents right now and the income requirement become like we are not counting these parents of wife and you are calling just the parents of husband, and the family members become husband, wife, kid 1, kid 2 and first parent of husband and second parent of husband. Then the requirement is going to be approximately $70,000. Till here the requirement is $70,000. But after 3 months, wife also wants to call the parents. Then when you applied earlier, you got the visa. Then is it going to stay same? No. You have already got the super visa of 2 parents as the host. So together your income should be $70,000 in that scenario when you called the parents of the husband. But later on, after 3 months, you are calling the parents of wife as well. What is going to happen in that scenario? So you have already sponsored 2 parents here, family member 5 and 6. You have already called 2 parents here. You have already sponsored 2 parents here for super visa, and you are sponsoring 2 more parents now, parents of wife. In that case, you need to show $86,000 rather than $70,000. So if you have already sponsored 1 parent, 2 parent, parent of husband, wife, parent or grandparent, anyone, if you have already sponsored someone in past as well, or if you are applying together, in that case, you need to show the full financial capacity rather than if you are applying separately. Maybe you are applying for the parent of husband separately, parent of wife separately. So sponsorship is going for the husband as well. Sponsorship is going for the wife's parents as well. Now the total requirement is going to be together this $86,000, that is the income requirement. If you have already sponsored someone, it is permanently going to be counted towards the family member. So if the husband sponsored earlier 2 parents, in that case, this is the number of family members will be counted. So if the husband has already sponsored 2 parents, now the family size is 6, and if wife is adding 1 parent, then family size will become 7. If wife is adding 1 more family member, second parent as well, then the family size will become 8, and you require to show $86,000 in that case. So depending upon how many family members are already there in Canada, family of the host, husband, wife, or if there is just only 1 single applicant, then it's a different story. And if you have a family, so depending upon how many family members are there in Canada, dependent on you, in that case, family size is going to be decided. I am just repeating it so that there should not be any confusion. So if husband, wife and 2 kids are there, I'm just taking an example, husband, wife, 2 kids are there, then the family size is 4. Husband has already sponsored 2 parents in past, in history, 1 year back, 3 months back, 4 months back. Now the family size permanently will be counted as 6. Now if the wife is going to sponsor her mother, then the family size will become 7. If wife is going to sponsor father as well, now the family size is going to become 8. So you need to count your family size really carefully, because each family member who is in Canada will be counted as the size of family member, and each family member to whom you have sponsored on super visa will also be counted, permanently counted as the size of family. So if you have sponsored, even if they are not in Canada, even they haven't traveled to Canada, but you have given sponsorship, both of these hosts have given sponsorship to any parent, and that parent will become a permanent family member, and this income requirement will keep on increasing. So whenever you are adding 1 more family member, you need to declare that you have already sponsored someone else as well. Suppose earlier husband sponsored his parents, so you need to declare now the wife is sponsoring, wife is inviting. So wife needs to declare that both of us together, husband and wife, both of us together, we have already sponsored the parents of my husband, and the family size is already 6. And now I am sponsoring my parents as well. So family size is going to be 8. And we are meeting the income requirement as per 8 family members. So I guess it should be clear after repeating all this. If still there is any confusion, you can call me. We can discuss it again. But we can take another example as well. If you are just single family member, you are not married, and you have the PR of Canada at any age, it doesn't matter. So age should be 18 or above, but you are single. I'm just trying to say it. So you are just single and you are calling your 2 parents, you are sponsoring them for super visa. So your income requirement is equivalent to 3 family members, which is $45,000. That's it. You are single and just calling only mother or father on super visa. In that case, the income requirement is of 2 family members, that is just 37,000 Canadian dollars. That's it. So depending upon the size of family in Canada and depending upon the people you are sponsoring, your parents or grandparents you are sponsoring on super visa, in total how many family members are there, that is going to be the requirement of the income. I feel it should be clear to you in this scenario. If still it is not clear, you can call me for a consultation and we can discuss it again in more detail, or I will just share how much income you require in that scenario. So that was the requirement for income. Next is how long applicant can stay in Canada on super visa. You can stay on super visa for 5 years in one go. When you apply for visitor visa, once you enter in Canada, you can stay in Canada for 6 months. If it is a multiple entry visa, even if it is single entry visa, if it is single entry visa for 1 month or so, if you get a shorter permit, in that case, you can stay for the legitimate period mentioned on your permit. If that is not the case, usually parents get 10 years of multiple entry visa. It happens with parents. So parents don't face that kind of problem that they are getting a shorter visa because they may require to visit multiple times. So they don't face the new rules, new issues where people are getting shorter visitor visa. So usually they get 10 years of multiple entry visa and they can stay for 6 months in one stretch. Then they can apply for an extension, and we usually apply for an extension of 6 months. It becomes 11 to 12 months of period they can stay. We can again apply for an extension, but it is up to, usually we get one extension quite easily, but later on it's up to the visa officer whether they accept your reasoning of staying in Canada, whether you need to take care of kids or something. But in the case of parents, visa officers are lenient to give you visa and you can get the extension as well. It is very much possible. Usually we get first extension quite easily. Second extension is also possible, but it all depends upon the visa officer. But as per rule, you can stay in Canada in one stretch for 6 months. That is the case of visitor visa. But if you are taking a super visa, once you enter in Canada, you can stay in Canada for 5 years in one go, in one stretch. You don't require to leave. Even if you want to leave, you can go and you can come back. You can go out of Canada and you can come back. It's on your wish. They are not going to force you to leave for 5 years. You can stay in Canada, inside Canada for 5 years in one go. That is allowed to you. So you can enter multiple times as well. That is allowed. Or you can stay in Canada in one stretch for 5 years. That is also allowed. So that is a great thing for you. You don't require to leave the country. It's a great thing because that is the facility Canada is giving you when you apply for super visa, when you get the super visa. So it is just like a visitor visa, but you don't require to leave. No need to leave the country after 6 months. That's the facility you are getting on super visa. So it's the big brother of a visitor visa. You can say that, where you are getting a longer period to stay in Canada. That's the facility. You can get PR as well. So there is a lottery system of PR. Now it is on hold, but yes, it may come back soon. So you can get PR of Canada as well. As parent, you can get the PR. It is a lottery based of system where the host, your son or daughter who is having the PR of Canada, citizenship of Canada, they can sponsor you to get the PR of Canada. Yes, it can be done. So during those 5 years of your stay in Canada, it is possible that you can get PR, but it is kind of a lottery based system where you need to meet the certain requirement to get the PR as a parent. So even you can also get the permanent residency, but till the time you don't get the permanent residency, this super visa is the second best visa for you because it allows you to stay in Canada for a longer period. Coming to the documentation part, what kind of documents are required? There are two special type of documents which you require in case of super visa, which are not required in visitor visa. One is medical, which is required for any visa of Canada where the length of the visa is greater than 6 months. Then you require medical from a panel doctor from anywhere in the world. You can do it anywhere in the world. It can be in UAE, it can be in India, Pakistan, wherever it is, wherever you are staying. You can complete this medical from any panel doctor. So list is given by IRCC. We can also share the list with you. It's not a problem. So whenever you apply with us, we are going to share it with you. So you can do it anywhere in the world and we can proceed for the application. In fact, whenever you extend your visitor visa inside Canada and you want to stay for more than 6 months, then also you require to submit your medical. So whenever you are willing to stay for more than 6 months in Canada, you require to do the medical. And initially when you apply for visitor visa, you don't require it because they want you to stay in Canada for 6 months only, maximum of 6 months only. But when you try to submit your extension application, they will always ask you to submit your medical examination. So it will be required if you are going to extend your visitor visa and where you want to stay for more than 6 months. And in this case, because the length of this visa is 5 years, or you apply for study visa or you apply for work permit where the length is more than 6 months, in that case they will ask you medical. So medical is one document which is different from a visitor visa application. So medical will be required. Second, you will require health insurance of at least 1 lakh Canadian dollar per applicant. So if you are applying for both the parents, then in that case you require $1 lakh for one parent, $1 lakh for parent 1, parent 2. Separate $1 lakh health insurance is required. So $1 lakh for this parent and $1 lakh for second parent. It is going to be combinedly 2 lakh Canadian dollars. So it will be required. Don't confuse that. Don't make it $50,000 for each parent. No, it is separate for this parent, separate for this parent. In combination, it is going to be $2 lakh. But usually you get separate health insurance for both the parents. $1 lakh for mother, $1 lakh for father. So that's how it is going to happen. It is a really crucial document. We can help you in getting this document as well. You should take this health insurance from inside Canada, because in case of any emergency, any medical visit or any issue happened with your parents, their age is usually 50, 55, 60. So they can face any kind of medical emergency in Canada. You should take it from Canada. That's the best scenario. Cost of health insurance per applicant is usually Canadian dollars 150 per month. So it is approximately 1800 Canadian dollars per annum per year. And you need to take health insurance for 1 year duration. So you should do some kind of discussion with the insurance company. What kind of things should be there? Usually what you need to do, we have already taken this type of insurances for our clients. So what you should do, there should be a flexibility of change of start date. So usually we write something that what is my target date to travel. So that is the same thing we write in the invitation letter, same thing we write in the SOP as well, and same date should be there on the start date of the insurance, health insurance. So all of these things should match. So there should be a flexibility of choosing the start date. You should be able to change it later on as well. So what kind of flexibility you require while taking your insurance? First thing is choice of start date. So you should be able to choose your start date. Suppose we are in February right now, and if you decide that my parents are going to travel to Canada in May 2025, so you choose the start date as May 2025. But later on they decide that no, we are not going to travel in May, we are going to travel in June. What is going to happen in that scenario? So there should be a flexibility to change the start date from May to June. So that should be there. So talk about it in advance whenever you are taking this insurance. The company which we are going to provide you, they will give you this facility. Second thing is there should be a flexibility to break it anytime. So there should be a flexibility. Suppose you are able to pay for it on month by month basis. So if you are using it for 2 months, suppose your parents don't want to stay there for 5 years or for 1 year, they want to stay there for 1 month or 2 months. What is going to happen in that scenario? So you are paying for it for month by month basis. And whenever you want to stop it, you can stop it. That facility should also be there. And if you are taking it for the entire year, usually you should not take it. What you should do in this scenario, what you should do, you should take the insurance for, you need to pay for 2 months. So usually it is going to be 300 Canadian dollars for 2 months, and you will get the insurance of 1 year just by paying approximately $300. And this you have paid already in advance for 2 months, but you get the insurance of complete year. And in case you don't use it and your visa is refused, if the visa is refused, the entire amount is going to be refunded back. The entire amount is refunded. That also you need to confirm. If the visa is refused, what is going to happen with this insurance? If the visa is refused, in that case, the entire amount should be refunded back to you. In case the visa is granted to you, if the visa is granted, that can also happen, and you decide that no, we are not going to use this insurance, we are just don't want to go. Parents just say we don't want to go. So if they go at later date, then you should have the flexibility to shift the start date of the insurance. If they decide we are not going to go, then you need to ask how much will be refunded back. If the visa is accepted, if they get the super visa, but they decide they are not going to go to Canada, what is going to happen in that case? So there must be some deduction, and rest of the money should come back to you. So usually the deduction is $120 to $150, and the remaining 1 month of charges will be refunded back to you. So some loss will be there, but most of the money will come back to you. But in case of refusal, the entire money should be refunded back to you. And you decide that my parents are going to come after 6 months, then there should be a flexibility that you are able to change the start date. So it is going to cover entire scenario for you. So choose your insurance carefully, discuss these things in advance, so that you do not face any financial issue related to insurance later on. And your insurance should be a really good insurance which is covering almost all kind of diseases, accidents, etc., because anything can happen to your parents if they are inside Canada, when they are inside Canada, and if you need to visit a doctor there, the bill can be in thousands of dollars. So be really careful in that. Do not take insurance just for the sake of having insurance, just for the sake of super visa. It should be a really good insurance for you. It should be a decent insurance. In case you require to use it, it should be worthful for you to have this particular insurance. So, and it should cover all kind of flexibilities: change of date, change of start date, stopping any time, and refund policies as well. So take all those things into consideration whenever you are taking the insurance for your parents. It is a really important document. It is a really important thing for your parent as well. It is not just for the visa. It is there to cover the financial losses as well in case you need to visit a doctor in Canada if your parents are there in Canada. In terms of documents, apart from medical and health insurance, what kind of documents are required? So first thing is invitation letter from the host, and it can include, so host is going to be, suppose I am calling my parents, then I will be the host. So only I am going to give invitation letter. And if my wife is calling the parents, in that case my wife is going to give invitation letter. So the invitation letter will be issued by the host who is calling the parents, but it can include the details of both the hosts. So I can include the income of my wife. My wife can include the income of me as well in the invitation letter, because when the income is counted for both husband and wife. So you can include the details of both the hosts in that, and you need to share the applicant's detail with their age and all the other details. And family size. Family size means if I am having 2 daughters, then my family size is 4, and I am calling 2 parents on super visa. Now the family size becomes 6, and I need to share the income detail as well, which is meeting the income requirement for 6 people, which we have discussed earlier. So I need to share all those details in my invitation letter, and I should be sponsoring my parents as well, that I am ready to sponsor my parents for super visa, and this is the income requirement of my family, and I am meeting the income requirement. That should be there in the invitation letter. PR and income proofs of the host. So suppose I am the PR in Canada, then I need to provide my PR proofs, my citizenship proofs, and my income documents as well. Income documents can include my offer letter, salary slips, my tax receipts in the previous years. So I can include all those things, and it is going to be there for the both host, husband and wife, because that makes the complete family income. So income requirement of both the host and PR documents, PR proofs of them. Next is job or business proofs of the applicants. If your parents are working, in that case you need to add the proofs of the parents as well. Financial proofs including liquid funds. Many people feel that super visa is just like a PR application, objective application. We don't require to show funds because we are proving the income requirement. No, still you should show your best liquid funds, best financial capacity. It always improves your visa chances, and it is declared in the guidelines of IRCC as well. So do not miss this particular thing. It is quite important. Show as much as funds possible. We are going to discuss about funds as well. There is no clear guideline given, but you should show the best funds available with you. More the better, older the better is the motto I am having in terms of funds. So you should give the financial proofs including liquid funds. Then relationship proof between the host and applicant. Suppose I am calling my parents, then how I am going to prove that they are my parents? So I can have my passport which is having the name of my parents. That's how the relationship can be established. So that is required to be submitted. Next is valid passport of the applicant and SOP. Many people think that SOP is not required, and I have seen SOPs written by people. So they are already really messed up, no prospect of returning home and no reason of travel. And many people think that reason of travel, okay, I just want to go there. Always present your file with a good reason of travel, with some event. It always improves your visa chances. You may not be actually willing to stay for 5 years, and you may be willing to stay for 5 years. But if there is any event coming, if your kids are going to have a baby anytime soon, in that case you can show that, okay, I am going to stay just for 2 months. After that I will come back. So prospect of returning home should be there even if you are applying for super visa. It is also a temporary visa, and you should keep it in mind. You need to show the financial capacity, prospect of returning home, your career and everything, your education, career, whatever is there, whatever your status is there, work is there, you should display that as well. Reason of travel should be really good. You should mention some kind of event. Yes, you can apply without event as well because you are the parent and you are applying for super visa. But if there is any event and you can showcase that I am going there just for 2 months, just for 1 month, it always improves your visa chances, because you are giving visa officer a clear picture that this is what I am going for and there is good prospect of returning home. I am not there to settle permanently and I have really good prospect of returning home as well. So that's why SOP comes into picture, and it is really important document. You should not miss it. I have seen SOPs written by people for their visitor visa applications, for their super visa application, for study visa applications, for spouse visa application, and they are really bizarre. I don't know what they mention in that. Even after writing the great SOPs, still visas can be refused. But if you are not writing a good SOP, then you are definitely calling for a refusal. So this should not happen. Do not take this type of chance by not submitting a good SOP or submitting the application without even submitting an SOP, considering that this is kind of a PR application. No, it is not a PR application. It is just a temporary visa application, big brother of visitor visa. So, but still it is a temporary visa. It is not a permanent residency application. If you are meeting all the requirements, submitting all the documents, and you are not submitting any SOP or something, any explanation of anything, and you should get your PR because you are eligible. This is not the PR. So you should be careful and you should submit your SOP with prospect of returning home, financial capacity, all the things should be there. Next question is, can I work in Canada on super visa? The answer is no, you cannot work on super visa. It is like a visitor visa, but you can stay for a longer period. That's it. Once you get the PR of Canada, then you can do whatever you want to do. But before getting your PR, you cannot work on super visa. You can just stay with your kids. That's it. Can I apply super visa from inside Canada? The answer is no. You need to be outside Canada to apply for super visa. From inside Canada, you can apply for a visitor visa. You can extend your visitor visa. But to get your super visa, you need to be outside Canada. So if you are already inside Canada, you are on visitor visa, your kids have received PR now and you want to convert it into super visa, then you should go out of Canada. It can be any country outside Canada, and then you should apply for super visa, and then you should enter on super visa inside Canada. So you cannot apply for super visa from inside Canada no matter on what visa you are in Canada. If you want to, some people do that, they try to extend their visitor visa in super visa. That is not allowed. You should not do it. You are not going to get super visa. Rather than that, you are going to get a visitor visa extension. So ideally, you should apply for super visa from outside Canada, and if you are already inside Canada on visitor visa, then you should apply for the extension of visitor visa. And if you just want to get super visa only, then leave Canada, apply for super visa and get your super visa and travel to Canada. That's how you should do it. Visitor visa versus super visa. There are many people who say that even though we were eligible, still we feel that visitor visa has more chances of getting visa. No, that's not the scenario. Super visa is a far stronger visa category and you should always try to go for super visa rather than visitor visa. So if you are meeting the income requirement, then everything else can fall in place. Everything else is just so simple. What else you require to do? You just require to do medical. That can be done quite easily. So if you are meeting the income requirement, you must always go for super visa rather than visitor visa, because there are two reasons for that. One reason is most people apply for visitor visa, and visitor visa application of your parents is also mixed in the other applications of visitor visa. Although parents have far higher chance of getting visitor visa compared to a normal application, still it is a visitor visa application. It is just a request. Super visa application has lot more authority, like spouse visa. I always say that if you are eligible for spouse visa, then you must always go for spouse visa rather than visitor visa. Spouse visa application is a stronger application. Similar way, super visa application is a stronger application compared to a visitor visa application. So if you are meeting the income requirement, and that's the only eligibility requirement, I guess, which you require to meet, which is different from visitor visa. If you are meeting the income requirement, you should keep it in mind that you must go for a super visa rather than going for a visitor visa. If you are not meeting the income requirement, if your income level is far below the requirement, in that case, nothing can be done. You can improve the income level and then you can proceed for super visa or just apply for visitor visa. But if you are eligible, then super visa must be your first choice without any doubt. Do I need a PCC for super visa? The answer is no. Neither for visitor visa nor for super visa. You don't require a PCC. Don't worry about it. You don't require to submit that. How much funds are needed? There are no clear guidelines given for the funds, but usually what I recommend, for each parent at least you should have 5,000 Canadian dollars or more. More the better, older the better. That's the motto. Always remember that whenever you apply for any visa of any developed country, more the better, older the better. Remember that. So more the better means if it is like $10,000 per applicant, 15, 20, 30, 40, $15,000, then it is always going to be better. But if it is not there, at least try to show $5,000, because whenever you are going to present your case, then you can show that, okay, I am visiting there for a shorter period and I am going to leave my kids, and if I am living with my kids, I don't have expenses to stay there, and mostly my expenses are going to be below $5,000 only if I am visiting for 1 month only. So that's how it is justified that I have the required financial capacity, the funds available with me and my kids. So you can combine your funds in Canada, you can combine your funds in the home country. Combining everything, it should be more than $5,000 per applicant. Usually it happens. If you are already in Canada, you must be having some savings in Canada. You are already having a PR, so some savings must be there, and your parents must be having some funds as well. It shows their establishment in the home country, their prospect of returning home, their financial establishment, everything is established with that. So show some funds. And if they have old funds, any old fixed deposit, that is also good. Who can show funds? You can show funds in Canada or outside Canada, that I have already shared with you. So it can be in the account of parents, it can be in the account of the host. You can show it this way. And there is one more related question. If the old funds are not available, in that case you can make a fixed deposit or transfer the funds to Canada. Then means fixed deposit on the name of parents, or you can deposit them in their savings account, and you can take a balance certificate and you can submit it with the application, or you can transfer the funds to Canada as well. Usually we don't require to do it. Usually people have this much of fund available, and most of the people are aware that they require to have at least this much of fund available, that they are able to get their flight tickets and all those kind of expenses. So that should be there. So even if you don't have anything older in terms of funds, in that case you can make a fixed deposit of the funds available, and we can submit the fixed deposit FD certificate that I am having so and so funds available. Per applicant, $5,000 or more are fine to proceed with. If you are able to show more, that is always good. Can I withdraw funds during the visa processing? The answer is no. Many people are there who try to become over smart here, and they are like, yeah, see, I deposited the funds and took the balance certificate, withdrawn the fund and submitted that balance certificate for my visa application. Many people do it for study visa, visitor visa, spouse visa, and they are kind of playing with fire. If visa officer finds it that you submitted these fake funds in the visa application, you will get a ban of 5 years. It means that even if your parents get a ban, you may be facing problem in future as well, because you are indulged in some kind of activity which is not legal, which is not right. So be really careful in that scenario. It can create trouble whenever you are going to renew your PR. Yes, you need to renew your PR. So be really careful in that scenario. Do not withdraw funds, and your parents will definitely get a ban of 5 years. Even if it is not going to impact your PR directly, there may be an indirect impact on your PR, maybe in future application or citizenship application, because you were indulged in something which is not legal, and your parents got misrepresentation, they got the ban. It can impact your future application of citizenship, or it can impact your future PR renewal application as well. Be careful in that. But it will directly impact your parents for sure. They will get a ban of 5 years if they get caught that they submitted a balance certificate and the funds were withdrawn after that, or funds went below what they have submitted. For example, if you have submitted a fixed deposit of $10,000 in your home country, and after that you withdrawn the entire money, and after the withdrawal of that entire money, now the balance in that fixed deposit is 0, and visa officer check it with the bank from the head offices and head office of the country, and visa officer find that now the balance is 0, and you will get a ban. Your parents will get a ban of 5 years, and it may impact you in future as well in the renewal of PR or citizenship. Do not do this in any application. So that's it. I guess we have covered whatever is required to be covered for super visa. If still anything I forgot to cover, I feel that I have covered everything. If still there are any questions, you can leave your questions in the comment. If you want to apply with me for the visitor visa of your parents or for super visa, in that case I'll be happy to take care of your case. And if you want to apply for spouse visa, I'm every day getting the inquiries about spouse visa where people are getting refusal because they did not show appropriate financial capacity. So if you want to know how much funds are required if you are applying for spouse open work permit and you are getting refusals, then your funds could be the reason of getting refusal. If you are in that scenario, then you must watch this video, which will help you in getting your spouse visa possible, because finances become one of the reasons for the refusal. If you want to get PR of Canada, in that case you can watch this video how you can make your PR possible through French. this video can help you in that process. I hope video is informative. If so, like, subscribe and share it as much as possible, because there are many people who get the refusal of super visa and they can get their visa quite easily. Recently we have got the super visa of in-laws of Karan, my friend, and it was really quick application. We got the super visa within just 10 days in India, so it is very much possible to get it really quickly as well. So rather than applying for visitor visa, if you are having the PR in Canada, you can apply for super visa. And this was the video for you. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. See you in next video.